Hello, hello, hello. I'm just going to give it a moment and just make sure that I am live. Okay. Yes, and we're live. Okay, so welcome to Kinesioni. My name is Kalani and I am a shamanic priestess, an energy medicine master teacher and a soul coach. So I'm just going to give it a few moments to see if anyone's going to hop on, and then we will dive right in. So I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, winter solstice blessings. Obviously today's winter solstice, or happy holidays, or however you celebrate. I want you to celebrate yourself, and celebrate yourself with love, light, peace and joy. And that's the most important thing, I think, these holidays, or at any time at all. Okay, so if you're watching this live, welcome. If you're watching it on the replay later on, if you can pop in the comments #replay. If you have any questions at all, I've got my other phone so I can look at the questions. Sometimes there's a bit of a lag, so if I don't answer straight away, then it means the questions haven't come through. But you are more than welcome to ask me questions, pop any questions in the comments afterwards, or alternatively, please email me at shamanicsoulstar@gmail.com, or pop me a DM. Let's have a chat. Okay, so today we are going to dive into doing the work after a shamanic soul retrieval. Now, some of you, I'll explain what a shamanic soul retrieval is in a minute, but the shamanic soul retrieval is a sacred healing ceremony, shamanic ceremony, a ritual that I do that helps you to heal on a deeper soul level. Now, the ritual in itself is very, very powerful, and it's life-changing. It changed my life, and this is why I'm so passionate about helping other people to change their lives too. So, the shamanic soul retrieval is a sacred journey, but on its own, it's not enough. And this is since I've been doing this, I've been learning from my clients. I've been learning from doing my own soul retrievals, and I've realized that the more work needed to be done after the soul retrieval. So that's where my soul coaching comes in. And so when you do the work after the shamanic soul retrieval, that's when you can really heal karmic patterns, and you can help to transcend any limiting beliefs or issues that might be going on in your life. So if you're feeling very, very stuck in your life right now, if you might be suffering with depression, anxiety, brain fog, dissociation, you might have illnesses that you can't really explain or pinpoint where the root cause is. Now, all of these issues, they are I can guarantee you they're normally due to soul loss. So as a shaman, I act as a soul compass, and I can help guide those parts back home, right where they belong, and so that you can feel whole again. And it really does make a massive difference in your life. And so your soul is your biggest cheerleader. Your soul is your best friend. Your soul is your therapist. Your soul is your teacher. Your soul can teach you so much. Throughout life, we look to others for answers. I know because I've done it my whole life. We look to others for answers. We go to therapists. I've had psychotherapy myself. I've had counselling, which was great. But it didn't really get to the root cause of my problems, and this is why I'm doing what I do. But when you start connecting with your soul, when you start connecting with your higher self, you start living a more authentic life. You start connecting to your true self and start living life on your own terms instead of living your life what everyone else wants you to do. And it's the most empowering experience that you can ever have in your life. It's incredible. So what happens during a soul retrieval? So when I'm doing a soul retrieval, and this can be done either in my Zen Den, which is just here, or I can do soul retrievals via Zoom as well. So when I prepare you for the soul retrieval, so we will have a session before the soul retrieval, and that is to pinpoint exactly where you are in your life, what wounds are affecting you the most, how do you want to go forward in your life. The thing is, with soul wounds, we normally just think about the very, very last thing that's happened to us, the last trauma. But the last thing, I mean, that's why when we go to the doctors, we go to the doctors because with what we're suffering with at the moment. But with soul wounds, normally the last thing that you go to the doctors for or to a therapist for is normally it's normally probably like it might have been the 30th or the 31st time this kind of event has happened, but it's happened in a different way. If I use myself as an example, from a very young age, I suffered with, I'd been through abuse, and I had my soul wounds. I had abandonment issues, rejection issues, and that went throughout my life. So, and it affected my family relationships, it affected my friendships, it affected my romantic relationships, it affected my career as well. So those my soul wounds came from when, actually before I was born, because I lost my twin, and that's where it first started. So because I hadn't had a soul retrieval throughout my life for that initial soul wound, that loss of my twin, that had an effect on everything in my life. So that is why I attracted so many toxic and narcissistic relationships throughout my life, because I was feeling that sense of abandonment and rejection. I became a people pleaser, and I would do anything to receive that unconditional love. Every time I was rejected or abandoned, I abandoned and rejected myself. So I went through many years of self-sabotage and wasted a lot of my life doing that. But I mean, I have no regrets. I mean, because it's taught me some amazing, incredible lessons, and that is why I'm here today doing this. So, but what I'm trying to say is we need to get to the root of your soul wounds. So we can, I mean, I can work on soul retrievals for events that have happened later on in your life. But the most powerful soul retrievals is when you're working from birth or pre-birth up to 7 years old. that is the most poignant time in your life, because what happens to you at that age, it kind of sets your programming for the rest of your life. But it doesn't mean that programming has to stay. And this is where I come in. So this is where the soul retrieval comes in, and also the soul coaching as well. So when you have a soul retrieval, I'm acting as a soul compass, and I work with my spirit guides, my power animals, and also with my shamanic drum. So it's non-invasive. It's a very, very beautiful ritual. It's very relaxing for you, because as I'm taking you on, I take you on a beautiful shamanic journey, and I use my shamanic drum. Now, the shamanic drum is one of the most important parts of the process, because it's going to help you to get into a super relaxed state of mind. Okay, so it's going to, when we're in every day, as I'm talking now, my brain waves are they're all firing, and it's in a beta. Okay, it's a beta frequency. But when I'm doing the shamanic drumming, when I'm doing the journeying with you, I'm enabling, this is from a scientific point of view, this isn't woo-woo, from a scientific point of view, your brain waves are going to change from beta to alpha and into theta. Now, when your brain waves change, that means you're connecting to your super consciousness, and you are able to make long-lasting changes. Okay, so if we did the soul retrieval without, well, it wouldn't work, to be honest with you, but in beta, you're not going to retrieve as much of that information as you do in alpha or theta. So it's, and also when you're in alpha and theta, it's connecting yourself and me as a shaman. It's connecting to the spirit world, to the shamanic realm, and to the 5D. Okay, so when I do the soul retrieval, you won't feel anything. You might have a visual, you might have visualizations, you might feel sensations. Every single person is different. But what we're doing, what we're doing with the soul is, when you've been, imagine the soul like an onion. Okay, this is the only analogy I can think of. It's like the soul, the core of your soul is your pure essence. It's your higher self. It's your nothing can touch that. Okay. But as we go through life, we grow layers. So it's the layers of the onion. Okay, and so layers of the soul. And we're growing those layers through nature and nurture. But what happens is, if you go through any kind of trauma, any kind of accident, or anything that's really overwhelming in your life, this causes part of the soul to fragment away from so that leaves a void. But your soul part, when it leaves you, it's not your soul abandoning you, it's your soul actually protecting you from the full psyche, protecting your psyche from the full extent of the memory. So it's a protective thing. So, and when it leaves, it goes into the lower world. So as I said, I'm as a shaman, and I'm acting as a soul compass. So I'm able to guide those soul parts back. But when that soul part comes back, it's not the traumatized soul part that left in the first place, but it's your pure essence. But that soul part will I can help it come back, but that's where you come in. Okay, so that soul part wants to come back, but it's going to give you a to-do list. And so this is where you need to do the work, because if for instance, say you had you was in a violent relationship, okay, and say you was attacked or something like that. I know that sounds horrible, but it happens. It's happened to me. Okay, so if you've been in a violent relationship and you suffer from soul loss from that, okay, if you have a soul retrieval and you stay in that situation, then your soul's not going to want to stay around, because it's not going to feel safe. So after a soul retrieval, you need to make sure that, one, that you're ready, and two, that you are okay to do the work, to ensure that your soul, that soul part is safe to come back. It could be that you need to set boundaries to make it feel safe. You need to set boundaries with other people, or you need to set boundaries with yourself. Now, what I help you to do is I help you to have that dialogue with your soul part, so you can communicate with your soul part and find out exactly what it is you need to do to change your life. And when you get that soul part back, when you do that work, like I said, it helps remove karmic imprints. You can end soul contracts. You can really change your life, and it can stop all of those limiting beliefs. And it is life-changing, completely life-changing. So, and when you've had that dialogue, when you've had that speakeasy, that conversation with your soul, it's kind of like dating. It's like dating. All right, yeah, it's like dating your soul, okay? Because the relationship that you have with your soul is the most beautiful relationship you will ever have in your life. I promise you. I mean, we all want to, of course it's wonderful to have beautiful relationships and romantic relationships, and but the most beautiful relationship is going to be the one with your soul. And when you connect with your soul, when you connect with your higher self, your life will start to change. Okay, have you ever like, you know, when you I'm trying to think of something, you know, when you like make a decision in your life, and then so things might be a little bit crazy before, and then you make a decision, right, I'm going to change some things in my life, and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And when you do that, all of a sudden you get this energy from nowhere. You start feeling more happy, you start feeling excited, you feel motivated. That is what happens when you connect with your soul. That is what happens when you connect with your higher self. That is the key to manifesting. That's the key to manifesting the life that you want. Because when we're not connected to our soul, when we don't listen to our soul, when we go off that your life path, when you're not aligned, that's when we suffer with depression, anxiety. Okay, and that's when, if you have had a soul retrieval, and if you go off your path, your soul part is more likely to return back to the lower world. So then you're left again with that void again, which we don't want. So having that dialogue, having that chat with your soul, it can offer you the most beautiful gifts. it can offer you the most beautiful insights, and these insights and these gifts, you are not going to get these insights from anyone else. I can promise you. I'm not going to give you these insights. Your friend's not going to give you these insights. A therapist isn't going to give you the insights. A doctor isn't going to give you these insights. When you truly connect to your soul and you have that conversation, it's like a light bulb moment. It's like the light all of a sudden comes on, and then all of a sudden you're going to get this clarity, and it just burns through any confusion in your life, and it makes it really clear exactly what you need to do. But it takes a lot of self-awareness, and also 100% responsibility, because your soul is your responsibility, no one else's. Okay, but when you do the work, when you nourish your soul, when you nurture yourself, when you love yourself, that is when you're going to have the opportunity for growth. And also when you listen to your soul, it's going to stop you from making the same repeating patterns. Learn from my mistakes. Believe me, I jumped from one frying pan into another frying pan, into another fire, into another fire for years. I don't now, do you know what I mean? Thank God. But yeah, it can stop that. So doing this work, it's not automatic, and it requires you to excuse me, it requires action from yourself, and it's intentional action as well. The thing is, bringing back a soul part is like planting a seed without watering it, without nurturing it. Okay, it's like just bringing back a seed and not even planting it into the ground. Do you know what I mean? If you don't water that seed, if you don't feed that seed, if you don't nurture it, it can't grow into anything beautiful. It's just going to stay a seed. That's it. So nurturing your soul, feeding your soul, is really, really, really important. So the work that you need to do, some of the things that your soul might ask for specific changes to happen in your life, and it's going to give you them gifts and that wisdom. It's like I said before, it's like setting healthier boundaries. You might have to let go of toxic patterns or relationships. But on a positive note, it's when your soul part is like I said, your soul part is your biggest cheerleader, and your soul part wants you to pursue your greatest passions that give you joy, and your soul part wants you to be on the path to your higher purpose. Your soul wants you to really live your life, start thriving, and getting out of survival. You don't want to be in survival mode. You don't want to be in victim mode. You want to be in thriving mode. Okay, and so when you listen to your soul part and do the to-do list, when you do that, I can promise you life will start changing for you, and it's going to be a lot lighter and a lot brighter. Okay, it's changed my life, and the more soul retrievals I do, the more soul coaching I do, not only on my clients, but I'm doing work on myself all the time. But that's helping me to understand exactly how the soul retrieval works, because I'm not going to do a soul retrieval on someone else if I haven't done it myself, and I've had quite a few. But I think the most important thing is like I said earlier on, it's having that the initial soul retrieval is going back to the original soul wounds, which for, I'd say, 99% of us would have happened in childhood, from birth, pre-birth, up to 7 years old, and that's where that programming comes from. So we want to get to that root so that we can change things. Okay, that programming isn't going to last forever. Okay, so welcome, Luca. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let me just so with the soul retrieval, like I said, I'm doing it in everyone's completely different, but I try to do it in either 3 or 4 sessions. So the first session is exploring where you are in your life right now. What issues are you facing? Are there any repeating toxic patterns or behaviors that are going on in your life that are stopping you from going forward in your life? Okay, so we can explore all of those. We can also explore where the original wound comes from. Okay, so like I said, you might have had 30 or 20 or 30 different things or experiences happening to you, but they've all had a common theme. So I help you to get to the root of that. And it's important for me to say that I work as a trauma-informed coach, and that's helping you to feel safe and have that trust is really, really important. Because when you're working with trauma, we don't want to be ripping open a scab and opening up wounds. That's not how I work. Okay, but so the first session is exploring exactly where you are and what wounds you want to work on. The second session is the actual soul retrieval, which is a beautiful ritual, and it's a beautiful experience. Then on the third session, that's when we do the deeper work with the integration. So I can help. I can either do this with you in person, or I can send you the exercise, the soul dialogue that you need to work on. You can do that in your own time. So you can do it either way. Sometimes it's nice to maybe we can do a bit of both. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're having that conversation with your soul, I think you need to be on your own, really. So, and then maybe a fourth session, and that's to make sure that you're fully integrated, that soul part is fully integrated, and you are starting to feel aligned with your life purpose, because what this whole process is going to do, it's gonna it wakes you up, it helps you to become more aligned, and it activates your true potential, your highest potential. It's activating. I'm going to help you activate your soul star. So you're living your life from passion and purpose, rather being led and dragged. Okay, so it really gives you helps you to get back in control of your life. Just going to check my notes and see if there was anything else that I wanted to talk to you about. This whole process, every single person is different. Every trauma is different. No trauma is comparable. Sometimes there could be trauma that is perceived. I think I spoke on my last one about when I was a small child and I followed a lady on a bus on the Isle of Wight, and I got halfway around the Isle of Wight before I realised it wasn't my mum. Now, I wasn't, at that point in time, I wasn't in any real danger. I was upset, obviously, and not, so at that age, it was a perceived threat. So I know that I suffered soul loss from that event. Now, to someone else listening to that, well, they're like, how can you suffer soul loss? That wasn't really that bad. But trauma, perceived trauma, perceived threats, perceived fear is just as traumatic as real fear. I think that's really important to get across, because a lot of people will look at their life. I've had many clients come to me and they were like, oh, it's not that bad what I've been through. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Please never do that. Hello, Claire, welcome. So if you've been through any trauma, please don't compare yourself to anyone else, because trauma is not comparable. And it doesn't matter whether it's a real fear or a perceived fear. The human mind doesn't know the difference. Okay, so when I was 5 years old and I got lost on that bus, I mean, in my mind, I was in danger. I was in real danger. And that had a long effect on me. I spoke into the last one. For years and years and years and years, every time I got on a bus or tried to travel anywhere, I would have the biggest panic attacks ever. Do you know what I mean? Just the thought of the journey, my heart would start racing. I would start sweating. My body temperature would go up. I would actually physically feel sick. A lot of the times I couldn't make journeys on my own. I had to have someone with me. If I didn't do a journey on my own, I would get so disorientated. I would be on a bus and I wouldn't know where to get off, or I would become really disorientated. And I was like that for a very long. I mean, people look at me now, they're like, nah, you ain't like that. I mean, you look really confident. But it's true. Like the fear I had of being on a bus was horrific. And it wasn't until I started thinking, well, where's this come from? Do you know what I mean? Because I've got I thought that I had no real reason to have any fear of travelling on a bus, particularly. And then it wasn't until I did a shamanic journey myself and started having that dialogue with my soul and finding out, okay, what's going on here? That I realised, oh my God, yeah, when I was 5, I got lost on a bus on the Isle of Wight, and like it was, yeah. I mean, I was 5 years old and ended up at the police station for hours and no one picked me up. So I'm laughing now, but it wasn't fun. Obviously, it wasn't funny at the time. But I did the soul retrieval, and that changed. That changed my life. It's changed many things in my life, but it got rid of that phobia. It got rid of that fear. Now I love traveling. I'm excited. I posted something the other day about, I saw this trip where you could it was like a train journey, and you go through like something like 30 countries for 21 days. I really want to do that. I want to go trekking across the Himalayas. I want to go to Costa Rica, or I want to go to Malta. There are so many places that I want to go to. Now, even like 6-7 years ago, if you just said to me, right, oh, you're going to go on a train, do you want to go on a train journey across 30 countries? I'll be like, no, no way, no way. But now it's like, yeah, bring it on. So, but it shows you, do you know what I mean, that fears, phobias, you don't have to have them for life. Do you know what I mean? A soul retrieval will help you to deal with so many things. I used to have severe PTSD. I don't have that anymore. The soul retrievals has been literally like, it's been like the holy grail of my own healing. It's been like the missing puzzle, the missing piece of the puzzle that I was looking for years and years and years. And now I found it. I can't stop talking about it, and I love it. So, but I don't want to make this too long. But Claire, Luca, if you have any questions, please do either private message me or pop your questions in the comments below. If you are interested in having some soul retrieval and soul coaching sessions, please do message me, and then we can have a chat, and we can get you booked in. I'll be doing a special for Kinesioni members, so message me and ask me about that. Okay, so for now, I'm going to send you all much love, light and blessings. And what I want you to think about is your soul has all of the answers that you need to awaken, align and activate your highest true potential. Are you ready to listen to your soul? If you're ready to listen, then let's talk. Let's talk. Okay, so I'm going to love you and leave you for now. So happy holidays, winter solstice blessings, happy Yule. However you're celebrating it, celebrate it with love and light. Okay, take care, bye.